Destroys our generation. I don't mind. I don't mind. I don't mind. I don't mind. Looking for inspiration in my life. Looking for inspiration all the time. Looking for, looking for, looking for, looking for. Hey!
And hello everybody, what is going on? Holiday weekend. I know a lot of people are probably out there doing all the stuff. Racer James sneaking on in there. Racer James sneaking on in there with oh my goodness, what do we got now? Hold on a second. 40 months? I know that's definitely been longer than that. I had to double check that. Hello, he says there. How's Racer James going? How's everybody else doing out there? You're enjoying the fantastic weather we're having here today, that's for sure. Hello, how we doing? 40 months. You know, it's definitely been longer than that. In reality, it's as far as for the very much appreciated. How are we doing there anyway? What's coming up there? Yeah, I had to look at the Twitch chat because that was the emotes show up differently in the in the butt for some reason. So yeah, definitely orange to you. I guess as far as for the resub. Hell yeah. Also GG's. For anybody following the channel, you do have that at your disposal as well. So, I did get some updated information here from Torch about the Texas Motor Speedway. He's kind of considering this to be final, I guess, as far as the shadows go and things like that. One of the things I have already messaged him about, he's mentioned that he's probably going to be a little bit late. He's got some IRL things to do. But one of the things that I've mentioned to him, I guess, as far as the helicopter that he decided to use, I guess, for the track, doesn't want to show. And I'm going to go through this, I guess, as far as to in the sim or whatever to kind of prove my point here. But okay, so for most that watched this stream last week, or maybe you haven't, a little bit of an update here about the medallion shadows. So we came to the conclusion that obviously there's an obvious difference between the coloring of the light map itself, which is the fence, and also the shadowing is for the shadow itself, which is at this point it is a model. Torch initially did try out a TSD, which we came to find wasn't going to be it just wasn't going to work. Just put it that way. So he's going back to the original idea, I guess, as far as using a model, which, in my opinion, seems to work much better, I guess, as far as than the TSD for this type of thing. What I did want to take a look at is to see how he's got this texture for that. So just to kind of show all the stuff that's latest and greatest, I guess, as far as for the Texas Motor Speedway. As I already mentioned, the medallion shadows are now back to using a model as opposed to just a TSD. Put those in place. And I wanted to take a look at this shadow, so that we're going back to reverting away from taking and using the TSD, the track surface decal, and using a texture for a model piece. And take a look at this a little bit closer. Let's open up our WinMit 2. One of the things I have been taking a look at is some of the other tracks, like the default tracks, to see how the animated helicopters and stuff work. Because and I'll be getting into it, like I said, I guess, as far as so the object for the new helicopter that Torch wants to use is in the track, but it's not showing up, I guess, as far as during the appropriate session, and we'll go through that. So that's the only reason why I got this open here. I was kind of going over, I guess, as far as how some of the default tracks, which I came to a conclusion there's a lot of this information that's available on the Spline Design Studios website for doing these common things like the helicopters in tracks. So again, we'll get into that in a moment, but for now I want to navigate to our build folder for that is not what I wanted. Let's go to, hold on, we need to go to Torch's folder and the Texas build, and we need to find all of our new stuff here, which is final. Here we go. This is what he's considering to be final, which for the most part it is. For the most part it pretty much is. Just need to figure some things out with so here's the approach that Torch is taking with the shadow for that model piece, make it a trans piece. And again, what's nice about this is it can be adjusted down, as far as the transparency, if you so chose. So he went the direction to use a trans and no TI. And we came to find, just like with the TSD, when you have a TI to that, when you're trying to apply that, it tends to, for lack of a better way to put it, to float. So when you look at it from different angles, anyway. So let's take a closer look at this. So when you look at this from different angles, and this is what I was showing last week, it doesn't change, right? It just stays that static look to it, I guess, as far as built in position, I guess, as far as based on the track geometry. So My only other thing that I would suggest to Torch, and totally his choice, is just to lighten this up a little bit. It's a little bit darker than I think it should be, I guess, as far as a closer match, I guess, as far as that. But other than that, the placement of it, all the way in these different sets. So there's 4 different sets for these medallions. So there's a set 1, set 2, all the way around through this end of the track anyway. Here's set 3. So the way he's got these positioned in these different positions for the medallions is spot on. I mean, they're fantastic. Just the coloring of it, maybe, in my opinion at least, maybe should be adjusted just a tad, so it's not quite so dark. That's about it. But you can see what that texture looks like. That's why I want to take a look at that. And the fact that it's just a flat plane that's mapped, I guess, as far as to that size, and then it's got a trans area out for the model of that. Fantastic way, I guess, as far as to do that, and in comparison to using a TSD, at least, anyway. So that's the set 4 right here. That's down the back stretch, so between this one and that one. And that's a set. He's done them in sets. So one of the other things that has been adjusted since last week are the signs. I did tend to mention that they tended to float, even in the sim, as well as in the sandbox. He's kind of floated out too far away from the fence pole. That's been adjusted. And then also, the coloring. My goodness, my throat. I've been outside doing a lot of grass mowing, so it's like if you catch me kind of try to clear my throat, I got a lot of crap in my throat there, so I apologize for that in advance. But the coloring to this star, in particular for this model piece for this gate, perfect. Absolutely perfect. I don't know if you can get that any better than that. I mean, at initial glance, you have to really look at it to really tell the difference, because as far as where that begins and starts, but that's so much better. The fact that, again, anybody that was watching last week, that star on that model piece, it was super bright. Now you can't even hardly tell. That's the whole idea, I guess, behind this. So we're going to take a look at that, too, as far as the updated softwell gate, which is this deal. This is the new piece. That's what that looks like now. And this is what it looked like prior to any adjustments. One of the things I like to showcase. This is what it looked like before, and this is what it looks like now. And you can see the result of that right here. When you look at that, and we're going to take a look at this in the sim to see how this looks as well that way. But yeah, that is so much better. So much better. Appreciate the follow. Welcome on in. Super Mario Dinosaurs. Welcome on in. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. How we doing today? I never want to assume, I guess, as far as that it's not an actual person, but I know Twitch is very much on the you're getting pretty vigilant, I guess, as far as bot accounts. So I don't want to assume, I guess, whatever, but thank you for saying something, just to kind of confirm that you are actually a person. How we doing? I hope you're doing well. Super Mario Dinosaurs, though. It's a fantastic name. How we doing there? So yeah, that's the only other thing I can think of that is actually updated, other than the helicopter, I guess, first do this thing. Oh, waiting till the ads are over. Yeah, you gotta love the ads. You gotta love the ads. I did run some ads, I guess, as far as during the intro, but I don't know. It's never a guarantee, I guess, as far as that it'll get rid of the pre-rolls. So apologize for having to do that, for that happening. There's only so much I can do with it. But welcome on in, nonetheless. I will try to run some of my own ads, I guess, as far as throughout the duration of the stream, just to potentially get rid of all the pre-roll ads for those that are new coming into the stream, at least anyway. Trying to be more. Did you mean forgiving of ads? I don't know. I tend to beg to differ because I go on a lot of streams myself, And yeah, if I'm new there, and you can tell when the streamer hasn't run their own ads a lot of times, even though I mentioned that I did. I don't know. I don't know what else to do. I guess as far as to get rid of the way Twitch wants to do whatever they want to do. They're gonna play them, I guess, whether they want to or not, whether the streamer does or not. Let's put it that way. So yeah, one of the other things that has been updated to the track, as I was mentioning, is this helicopter. So I've noticed this in even the default tracks. That's why I had the default Atlanta open for the sim to kind of compare notes. And I've come to that conclusion that this same helicopter that Torch has decided to want to use does not show. You only get the bounding box for it, much the same in the default tracks. So we're going to play around with this and see if we can add the other aspects to this helicopter as it should be with default tracks, and we're going to see if that'll actually show up. From my initial tests going into the race weekend, I guess as far as for the track, it does this copter that Torch has chosen, which is normally in the shared folder, tracks folder, does not want to show during that session. So we're going to see. Oh, as far as to force the ads, yeah, they definitely do. Yeah, I think they do. It's becoming pretty terrible, I guess, as far as with the ads. Like I said, I definitely try to do what I can and what give us the ability to do as a streamer on the platform, I guess, as far as to play the ads when I want them to be played, but that's not always a perfect science. You haven't not watched the whole NASCAR race since stage racing? But yeah, me neither. You and I both. I kind of lost interest, I guess, as far as with all this stage racing and the way they reset the points, you know, after the first 26 and all that stuff. I've totally lost, let alone all these drivers there is now. A lot of them I don't know them. I don't know them as much as I do. And when I first really got into NASCAR, like back in the 90s, when you had Mark Martin and Matt Kenseth and yeah, so on and so forth. They're just, a lot of them are kind of offspring of some of the, you know, the veteran drivers like Bill Elliott. You got Chase Elliott. You got Austin Dillon, which is the nephew of Richard Childress, you know, the 3-car. So there are some of them that are pretty particular that you can kind of hold out, but I don't know. I guess I just don't care to follow that much as more, let alone all this stuff, the changes that they made to the format of the races. This thing that they did with at the Coliseum for their shootout was a joke, in my opinion. It's like, the hell, you got these powerful cars as they do, and you're running them at a go-kart track. I mean, seriously, I don't know. I don't get it. I really don't get it. Schedule Costins as Junior, right? Yeah, so even Junior doesn't necessarily 100% agree with him as far as the schedule cautions. Yeah, that's probably a good way to put it. Races you've seen was 2019 Geico 500 only because I attended the race. I tended to lose interest in it after Monster Energy. So whatever the last year that was, I guess it was 18. I think 18 was the last year. So ever since they've not had a title sponsor on the Cup Series, I just haven't even bothered to watch. Yeah, and especially with those, like some of my favorite drivers that I like to follow, like Tony Stewart, Matt Kenseth, Jeff Gordon, you know, those types like that. Granted, a lot of those people, like even Gordon, for example, even Tony, are still a part of NASCAR as far as either as an owner or sometimes contribute, I guess, as far as the commentating. It's just not the same. It's not the same. Well, even Dale, for that matter, as far as Junior. I want to forget Junior. Good old Junebug. The fact that he did a race, I think it was an Xfinity race at Martinsville, I guess, not too long ago. I did not get a chance to watch that one or whatever, but I don't know where he finished. But the fact that he did participate in a Xfinity event, I guess, pretty cool. That's all the more reason we tend to enjoy, I guess, as far as building some of these tracks that are in NASCAR This one's been a long time processors. This goes all the way back to, this is going on to like about a year and a half, almost 2 years. And I got the proof here. I guess the proof is in the pudding here, I guess, as far as when I look back right here. So I had a little bit of a hiatus myself, I guess, as far as to get back with Torch, I guess, as far as to get this thing built again. And I think Torch might have even taken a little bit of a break for the most part. This started all the way back in December of 20. That's the oldest folder that I have in my edit folders, I guess, as far as for this. So even just before that, I know right around November is when Torch had taken on the initiative, I guess, to even want to start this. The fact that there was LiDAR available, we've had Racer James involved, I guess, as far as to get updated LiDAR to be able to get this done correctly. And yeah, so the fact that we're working on almost 2 years into this, about a year and a half at this point. So and it's come a long way. Don't get me wrong. I mean, this thing is, it's fun to drive on. The aesthetics to it is superior, pretty superb, and that's why we like doing it. Stage racing is going to stay for the, well, yeah, definitely. NASCAR is not going to change it. They've got a whole different crowd that they tend to want to appease, and yeah, ain't nothing going to change that. I just noticed in the overlay, I guess it changed the, it's kind of overlapping on my uptime. I'm keeping an eye on the uptime on there, and so if you see me checking that, I guess, as far as on the regular to switch over on scenes, it's probably for good reason, because my video capture card tends to want to get very upset that I don't transition over to that scene, I guess, as far as that does use that. So just be fair warned with that. If you see me doing that, I got a method to my madness for that. NASCAR Euro Series? See, I don't know anything about the Euro Series. That's totally out of my wheelhouse, I guess, as far as that, because I'm American. But there's plenty of that I've come to find, like that. Trying to think of who exactly off the top of my head that actually would probably be a better candidate, I guess, as far as for doing that stuff, to have more. So to be able to go to the tracks in reality, get money shots, I guess, as far as to get things done correctly and so on and so forth, let alone is there LiDAR or real world information based on the terrain for a lot of these tracks, you know. And I'm speaking just in terms of tracks. So as far as mods, you know, as far as the cars being made, I guess, as far as for your series, again, totally out of my wheelhouse. I know there's plenty of other people that are in the Inner 2003 community that would be much more susceptible to doing that. That's just not me, unfortunately. You see no mods for the tracks, even the American. Yeah. So that's been mostly our focus as far as the American tracks in NASCAR, as far as the Cup Series here in the U.S. So between this one, Racer James, we've been collaborating on with the build of Lacrosse Fairgrounds Speedway, I guess, as far as that's coming along pretty well, from what I have, at least, anyway. Sure, Racer James has probably done a little bit more work on that since the last time we've been able to do that. But yeah, this is the look of Texas. This is all here in Sandbox right now. This is outside of the simulation itself. So I guess gives you somewhat of a bird's eye view, I guess, as far as what the track looks like, I guess, as far as from this. Turned out pretty darn good. As far as Torch has done majority of the work himself, to include the geometry of the track, just about everything. About the only thing that we've involved ourselves with is the victory lane, the big hoss, and the, I want to say, the scoring pylon. That's about it. Everything else is pretty much all Torch's work. as far as the infield setting, just the overall geometry to the track, grandstands, hotel, speedway club, backstretch, all the inner walls on this track or whatever, all modeled. They do have the geometric collision, I guess, as far as so that you don't run through it, but the entirety of the infield walls has been all modeled. It's all completely modeled, which I think is a huge testament, I guess, as far as for what is possible with this type of game. You're going to do gateway. Gateway geometry has been done quite well, in my opinion. So there is a gateway out there that you approve of there, James. I guess as far, and this is coming from somebody that's done enough work, mind you, I guess as far as with Racer James, to actually critique, I guess, as far as what's right and what's wrong. I mean, when you have the real world information, as I mentioned, as far as in the form of LiDAR, that's on the USGS website completely free, and you can compare that, I guess, to see how things line up. So when you can take a track that's already done and kind of, put that together and see how it's all been done, scaled, so on and so forth, as far as the dimensions of things, that's the fella right there, I guess, as far as that's done the homework, that's for sure. You ever learn how to make Inter 2003 track? I'd love to collab. Yeah, so this is why we do these types of things on Saturdays, as far as just to show, I guess, as far as what's involved with it. A lot of the tools that you need, I guess, as far as to do it, are out there. One of the main things, especially if you're going to get into the modeling of things, I'm going to bring that up here, is you need a version of 3ds Max. So any type of modeling program, but you're going to need something that to be able to convert the model into a pass, which is a papyrus scene file. So that is one of the main one major prerequisite that you need to have for doing this type of thing. And doing it any other way, as far as creating objects for the sim, is just not optimized. So there are other tools out there, like, say, for example, 3D SimEd, that you can use that to make objects based on a modeling program that you use, bringing in an OBJ, import your textures, your texture mapping to that, and spit out a 3DO. You absolutely can do that. But even the creator of that tool, be it by the name of Dave Newton, has even mentioned that is not the best approach, I guess, as far as to creating a 3DO for Inter 2003. 100%. So, and we've proven that, I guess, as far as more times than I care to count, as far as the differences between creating a model in 3D SimEd and actually doing it through Pass Export, and then actually running that through Make 3DO and so on and so forth. So whether or not you script it or just run the raw pass through Make 3DO, how much difference do you get in file size of that 3DO because of the additional polys that are piled onto using such programs as 3D SimEd. Sorry, Gateway Night Jet. Oh, I remember that track. That's the one by yeah, I remember that one. Gateway Night JS. I think I might still have that one. I still have that? I gotta look now. I got my tracks folder. Like I said, I had been looking at other tracks that use that helicopter, which we're gonna get into. As far as how to, we're gonna see if we can't get this one working for Torch. I don't know if I got that one or not. I've got. It's probably saved on my one of my flash drives, I'm sure. I do not have Gateway in here, but I remember that track though. I do remember that track. That's pretty cool. A lot of tracks in here that we've collabed on, I guess, as far as in the past, to include the Safer Barrier tracks, which are still available. Obviously, still available. They're out there. Let me adjust something here real quick. I think what I am going to do for now is go ahead and turn the Memento, just a little bit of a stream adjustment. I'm going to turn that one off for now. There we go. Okay. That was bugging me. You have the Myrtle Beach JS. Yeah, the JS ones, those are... I forgot what the dude's name was as far as the JS. I think those are want to say Juan something. Juan. I know there's a README. He usually puts a README in there with those tracks. And I have a lot of those jazz tracks, which I think are done pretty well. So you went to rebuild and realized it was 99% perfect as is. Graphics need updating, obviously. Right. And there's a lot of tracks out there, I think, that have that same type of issue. You know, where there was a version of it created and just needs a little bit of TLC on textures. The textures on this track that Torch has done, absolutely, I don't know if I could have done them any better. He's definitely made sure to be able to add as much crispness, I guess, as far as to him as possible, without going completely overboard. I guess as far as with 4K textures, they say, for example, just going too crazy with it, because it does take away from how the track will perform graphically when you add too much detail to it. So adding just enough detail to get the gist of what's going on. So like such things like these tire walls, the fact that he's got all these modeled, I guess you could say that these are basically modeled shadows, so it's not using light maps, right? He's got this all modeled, as I already mentioned. This is all these walls here on the interior are modeled. It does have the geometric line, I guess, as far as to add the collision to that, so you don't drive through it, but it's all modeled. So it eliminates the necessity as far as to have to split the track up so much to get the openings that you would need, for example. So like, as we've already shown, you can't drive through here. You got that collision that goes all the way through this. But from the visual aspect of, the way it's modeled, you would never know that. You would never know that. And you see that things like that all the way out throughout the track, just like these model shadows for the medallions. The fact that Torch has gone so far to go so far as to do these pieces for the medallions. So you got a couple different pieces going on here. You've got this top piece, and then you got the piece that's in the wall, which from start, was a full medallion. He's even gone so far to add the lip, because these are bolted on pieces to the top of the wall. Let's see if I can zoom in on this. So it's got actually a little bit of a lip to it, just like it does in reality, because these top pieces here that are on top of the wall are bolted on pieces, so it's separate from the painted on piece onto the safer. But the fact that he didn't go super crazy, I guess, as far as with putting all the the things that bolted on, as far as for that, he just made it really simple, but it makes a huge statement, I guess, as far as that the fact that they do have these on there in reality. So it's just things, little details like that, that really not only make the track fun to drive, but also just to kind of be like, holy crap. I mean, he's put these markers in here as they have in reality, these placards here, and also the advertising that's on this foam, as far as the safer foam. So we do have evidence of that over here, say for example. So if you did want to put a camera angle, which we've discussed that, I guess, as far as if you did want to do some custom camera angles, as far as how that would look in a position like that. And that could be easily done as well. Oh, hold on a second. It's getting caught up here with... I think those tracks have been done. I know I have seen the EA stuff. Rough Porter... Yeah, the Rough Porter models of the EA stuff. Of the type of track I wanted made. Yes. Right, as far as for the Euro series, if I read that one right. Or the Gateway, but like you said, the Gateway's already done. If nothing else, maybe just a texture update. So, a lot of those tracks that are already out there, we don't... I guess you could say, I guess as far as, if we find something that's pretty well built, I know Racer James can probably, even though Racer James is here, but I think I would speak for even Torch and Racer James that when there's tracks out there that have the need, I guess, as far as for a slight adjustment there, if we have to go into it and adjust it at all, it's better off just to rebuild it. Just to start from scratch, from what's already there. Otherwise, trying to take a track that's already built and trying to basically reinvent the wheel, it just breaks it. So, and that's the approach that Torch, myself, and even Racer James has taken with that. Is just like some of these tracks that we've done in the SPP series, you know, as far as all the safer barrier tracks, this is where we come to find it's like, you know, it's a nice track. It's very well built, it's optimized, whatever, but it's out of date. You know, there might be slight anomalies with the geometry. So it just comes to that conclusion. If you got to do any geometry edits to the track at all, you're better off to start over. And in some cases, like with this track build that Torch has started, you can use a lot of the stuff that you've done, the track library for other track builds, and just apply it to your new build. We've used several of those, and we've had to, you know, like the Victory Lane and the Big Hoss, we've done some tweaks on it to kind of make sure, I guess, as far as it's all better than it was in the first place. Yeah. Fantasy track. I guess maybe I missed that. Which fantasy track were you talking about? See, we're not really all that much into fantasy builds. I know Racer James, for the better part, I think he might have mentioned that. To make a complete fantasy track. I have done several. Yeah, and I think I speak. I kind of mimic it as far as what Racer James said. You know, the creative freedom that is, and I think this falls onto the lacrosse build when I say this. A lot of it's done accurately as far as from the geometry of the track, but there is quite a bit of creative freedom, I guess, as far as with that. So it is semi-real, as far as it's kind of like a what-if situation, but not really fantasy, right? So I guess where I speak for Torch and Racer James, when there's real world information available, that's just something tangible, I guess, to hold on to be able to create something from that. That's more our speed. Nothing against, I guess, as far as anybody that wants to do fantasy track, right? That's not the point. That's what's nice about the freedom that is available, I guess, as far as in such things as Sandbox. But to have something that you can that's actually out there and tangible and real, I guess, as far as that's kind of more what we focus on. Tracks or car sets? I don't know, for me, now when you say car sets, are you talking like paint skins or actual mods, you know, as far as the car models? I think I can speak for Racer James and Torch, probably tracks for us. Because we got much more knowledge in that than we do the actual mods. I got limited knowledge, I guess, as far as doing car mods. What I do appreciate and understand as far as there is a lot more going on with a model of a car, let alone any make for that matter, going on with that. As far as the dynamics of it, you know, you got animated wheels, you got, you know, things that get damaged and things like that. Whereas with a track, it's for the most part pretty static, with very limited amount of dynamics to it, other than things like, say, track condition lights or maybe flags that animate and stuff like that. That's something else I want to get into, I guess, as far as at some point, just to kind of, you know, explain how doing things like that work. Yeah, like painting a skin, like for me, like I said, textures overall, regardless if it's for a car paint or a model, can be a little bit daunting, I guess you can say. But it's not 100% hard to do, I guess, as far as if you have the basic knowledge, I guess, as far as how paint programs work. So like, my paint programs of choice that I normally use are PaintShop Pro and or Photoshop. If you use other programs like GIMP, it might be a little bit more difficult, depending on if you're new to doing it. You know, it just depends on who you ask. Yeah, the Army Digital guys made a gold car. Yeah, right. You know, so there's stuff like that or whatever that. There's also that cube mod. I think the cube mod is pretty cool too. It was kind of like that was kind of like a meme type of mod, I guess, as far as just to kind of prove the point that you can put whatever visual body that you want to the car physic, if you will. As far as the bounding box is always going to stay the same. As far as the collisions to it, and I think that's what's hilarious with it. A lot of people don't understand as far as like it doesn't come down to just recreating the model, the visual model of the car, because the physical bounding box for each of those car makes for either the cut physic or whatever is always going to be the same, regardless of what visual model that you put into those. That's what I get a kick out, I guess, as far as when that one was done. But yeah, there are some cool mods like that are put out there, and I've tried that cube mod, and I don't know about the go-kart mod, but I did see that it was out there. It's easier to do real schemes than fictionals, right? I think so too. When you have something tangible, I guess, to reference, something that's out there and is, it's easier to reference that. I guess that's, I don't know how much better to explain that. But so with all this explaining that we're doing, and this is definitely a good convo. This is what starts the the process boiling, I guess, as far as to actually, because what else can we do? I know Torch has put a lot to this one here, and there's some things that I do still want to go over on this one here, like this helicopter and getting the animated flags working properly. So these flags actually will wave. These are a custom deal, and I'm gonna spend a stream, I guess, as far as just explaining the process of how to do that. Maybe even putting a some type of VOD out there on my own YouTube or the Spline Designs YouTube, I guess, as far as to explain that process. What was the fail? Oh, you missed it by a kappa. One emo you missed it by. Yeah, so I know last week when we had this stuff going, there was no jackpots to be had. I know Evan the Bandito and Torch were trying their darnest, I guess, as far as to get a jackpot from the bot, and it just didn't work. Okay, so yeah, if there's definitely any more questions or insight that is needed, I guess, as far as when we do this, as I'm doing this, feel free to ask, and that's kind of why we do this thing here on Saturday, like I say. So definitely feel free to ask. So this bounding box that's here, you can see that's here. This is the helicopter that is normally in the shared folder. Torches decided to want to use this one and put it directly in the track, applied it to the track PTF, but it does not show at all, I guess, as far as during any of the sessions, let alone the race session. And I figured, if nothing else, what I want to do is actually check out like one of the default tracks, because I know one of the things that Torch did do, and I don't know if that's what might be stepping on it. So with this particular helicopter, he renamed it, but maintained, I guess, as far as the textures that go with it, all the other elements that go to it, and I don't know if that's what's stepping on it. So for example, it's normally named, going here, let me see, what did I do with that? So I got the edit folder. Let's go back in here. So the default track actually has this heli01, and that's what it's named, is heli_01 by default, as far as from the shared folder. And what seems to be happening, he took that same one. I don't know why he did that. I think the original helicopter file that he had in there was named that, and I don't know if that's why he did that. So we're gonna fix this, hopefully, try to, and see if we can't get correct that. So the original file, he renamed that heli_01 to helicopter, and although the bounding blocks does show, as you can see, right, it does not want to show up at all in any of the sessions. The follow that path file. So the heli2, which is also in the shared folder, is what I demonstrated and had sent to him, I guess, as far as he's decided not to use. And we know that one works. The downside to that one is it's not as visually appealing, let's put it that way. So the Heli 2, if I look in the shared folder here, that is, so here's the Heli 1 that he's decided to use and renamed that to Helicopter. See, this is the one he wants to use. This guy does not want to show up in the track at all. And I'm going to take a look at, like I said, as far as into one of the default tracks. I got Atlanta kind of queued in here, I guess, as far as to check that out to see what's going on with it. So if it shows up in Atlanta, it may just come down to the fact that you know, something as simple as, and I'm only using 3D SimEd just for clarity here. I'm only using 3D SimEd just to look at the model, right? Just to see what's going on with it, because obviously it doesn't want to show in the track. So yeah, feel free to check out your fluids. You are earning yourself those units of fluids even as you are streaming this live. Working your way up there. You're already in there for half an hour. And 165 fluids. And we do use those units of fluids for special events on the channel, like follower goals and sub goals and things like that. As far as if you become a VIP to the channel, for example. Yeah, that's what we use those for. And you can feel free to gamble, give yourself a shot if you want to supplement those units of fluids during the duration of the stream. Feel free to do that. Yeah, Racer James got lots of fluids. Hey, I think I got you all beat. I got you all beat. I got you all covered. Bam. I got you all. Take that. Yeah, what do you think of that? You know, but keeping in mind too, just for fair mention, I know those like Racer James and other people that have accumulated a lot of, they probably have just as much there. I don't use my fluids for anything. I just continue to accumulate. So I don't use those, I guess, as far as for anything like you do, I guess, as far as to gamble them or to participate in the giveaways that we have on the channel. So just, that's a fair mention. You'd probably have just as many fluids as that if that wasn't the case, but it gives you some gauge. Oh, you missed it. Look at that. Bot is just totally toying with you right now. Missing it by one emote. Crazy. Okay. Right? Yeah. Also, if you're following the channel, we also have the better be in there. Yep, the rigged emote. Feel free to use the rigged emote. That's definitely rigged. I'd agree. It's rigged. Yeah, so if you are following the channel, you should have some follower emotes like that one, I guess, at your disposal. Okay, so getting back to this helicopter. So what Torch did, and again, I think he was following sort of what he already had in there for the model name and the coordinates for it and so on. That might be what's screwing it up. I don't know. It may come down to, we may have to reapply this Heli 01 without renaming it, putting it in place, applying all the other aspects to it, and see what we can get there. I'm already going to need to edit this track, and I think he's already expecting me to do that. I think that's made clear. Because I do need to add the aspects to the animated flags, like I already mentioned, by the victory lane and also above the big hoss. So, yeah. I think Torch is under the idea as far as I'm going to be editing this deal anyway. So, what we're going to do, at least we're going to try to do, is I'm going to apply this same helicopter without renaming it. All the other files are already in there, so I'm going to copy this guy right out of the shared folder. This is an unpacked shared DAT file. We're going to go into our edit folder, like so. And then I'll leave this one in here for now. Okay, so we're going to put that in without renaming it. And then we're going to add this guy in. Now, what I've already come to the conclusion of, and I've got Atlanta actually open here just to kind of prove this. This is the same helicopter in a default track, like Atlanta, that it does not want to show in any state once you populate it in here. So I just needed that confirmation to understand that that's the way this model seems to work. Yeah, so this is out yonder, I guess, as far as outside the track here at Atlanta. This is default. This is vanilla Atlanta. Now you can, yeah, definitely look at the texture. Oh my goodness, this thing needs some help too. I know Torch has got in Atlanta. I forget what year it falls under. He does have an Atlanta out there that is updated. Much the same as Dover and also Texas, as you can tell. So yeah, very well done. So anyway, this Heli01 underscore 01, this is how it populates into the track by default. So that's why I came to the conclusion how this thing works. So we're going to try to apply this same deal to the Texas build instead of renaming it like Torch. I can understand, I guess, as far as why Torch did it in that way. That way you can have the helicopter already in the position there based on the name that he had in there for another helicopter that he was trying to use. Totally understandable, but it's obviously not working. So yeah, that's probably a good mention there, Racer James. So most of the Torch tracks are the TE, or the Torch Edition. So any TE tracks that you see out there for the sim, those are our Torch's build. And in some cases, we've, you know, between Racer James and myself, I've had some collaboration, I guess, as far as with Torch on those builds. He's used a lot of our insight, I guess, as far as for what direction to go on how to do things. And he's figured a lot of stuff out himself, too, in the process. He's come a long way, I guess, as far as from when he started. You should be here, I guess, as far as a little bit later. He just said that he's got some things going on IRL, so he said he should be here. It just probably end up being late. So while we're waiting for, I guess, for him to potentially show up, we're going to play around with this helicopter file and see what we can do with it. So that's Atlanta track. Alright, so what I want to do is go into the Texas build. I got two instances of Sandbox open, one with that Atlanta track and one with the Texas build. I might end up bouncing back and forth. I also want to mention, if I haven't already, over at the Spline Design's website, Spline Design Studios website, there's this other information tab. And in this other information tab, there's a lot of stuff that you can get for NASCAR Racing 2003, to include the full install, which has instructions for that, the patch, and all of the Project Wildfire stuff to start off there. And then anything else you want to get, it's over there on the Weebly site. If you want to get it there, feel free to do so. But there's also information here for Sandbox. And I find myself referring to this many, many times, I guess, as far as other than to open up a default track, for example, to get the information. Put a lot of the mainstays, I guess, as far as the more common things that are used, like helicopters, flags, it's all in here. So blimps, the Heli-01 is in here. So without having to unpack a default track like I did, I just needed to confirm, because as far as how that model actually showed up. But all the information to apply to it, like the sound, path value on it, used by default, and so on, is all right here. So yeah, feel free to check that out at the Spline Design Studios website under the other information tab. Been available and will continue to remain available. There's also other information about the pit jig, the pit stall jig. You can get that, as well as information on other Inner 2003 edits. So if you need to do access the ref flap, there's a video on that, on how to use that that we have available. I believe this shows up on the SPP site, the SPP YouTube. Yep, that's on the SPP video channel. Feel free to check that out. Some of the more common I&I edits that you would want to make, I guess, as far as depending on what type of track you're building. What some of the information is used for, I guess, as far as for the pit stalls, as far as the rotation, distance from the wall, and stuff like that. Lots of really useful information here. You can get the WinMap 2 utility here, as well as the help page. It's also available, I guess, to understand what all the different settings for WinMap 2 are. Lots of useful information here, so feel free to use that. I feel like I don't advertise that as much, I guess, as far as what's available on the Spline Design site lately. So there you have it. So even regardless if you want to open up or unpack a default track, or just come over here and look for what you need. So this is the default Heli 01 that we're working with here. This is the same information that I will find in the default Atlanta build, for example. So here's the Heli 01. You got the same information in here, just as. So this is the information, the trackside object for that unpacked Atlanta track in the sandbox. It's also available right here. No matter if you're looking at that frame or this frame. The fact that it needs to be set to moving. Right now it's set to fixed, just so I can adjust where it's placed. Once it's in place, obviously you switch it to moving, so on and so forth. All that information is here. Alright, we're going to close that for now. Let's see what we can do about getting this guy, without it being renamed, into position here. So what I am going to do is take where this is at and apply that to our one that we're going to bring in separate. So this one's the one that Torch renamed. Okay, let's do right click, add. And this is right in the track. So we need to look for Heli _01. It's all alphabetic. Right there. And that should have put it right there. Yep, so we do have the right option. We're going to put it on fixed so we can put it in this same position. I'm going to see if I can put these. I'm going to do a little trick here, I guess, as far as that I've shown on stream before. So if you need information from another object to be able to put something else down, highlight this one. Go in the properties for that. This is the information I want to be able to transfer and making sure that's the right one. And I need these coordinates. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do my snipping tool. Like so. Now I've got this on my snippet. Now I can go back to that one I want to new item that I put in here and put the same coordinates on there. Now I can't copy paste from this obviously, but I got the information available to me. Yeah. I at least got the information available to me. Useful in that regard. So I'll go to here. Now I can apply those same values. I can put this side by side. Like so. And again, like I said, I can't copy paste this, but I can actually reference that information here and put it into my new object that I just brought in. 284, 201, 106.923. And 2.420. Okay, and it's got a 29 degree. This rotation probably doesn't really matter, but I'm going to go ahead and do that anyway. Because it's going to be moving, so it's not going to stay stationary. I'll go ahead and put that in there anyway. The other things I want to add to this are the additional information, so I'm done with this. I don't need that anymore. We got that in the same position. And we should be able to confirm in here too. Let's go to camera view. So there it is, in that same position. I want to add this additional information that I just showed here on the other information tab here. So I'm going to add all this information to that as well. So the sound file that's used. Okay, let's go ahead and add all that. Properties that again. So we're going to add. Type this all in there, so it's helicopter.wave. And where it reads all this information is not in the track folder itself, it'd be right in the shared folder. this sound file will read from the shared folder by default. So the path file will actually read from the actual track folder. So that way, whatever you name that path file, which is, it is already in there, need to apply. In fact, I've screwed up, I guess, as far as on that snippet. I'll have to add that to. Why is that grayed out? Oh, probably once they put it to moving, it'll let me. That's right. That's another reason why you need to switch it to moving. And then you can tell the path file. So the path file for this is right. Let's get over to that. So our track edit folder, that'll be not there. Okay, hold on. Why do we got 2 edit folders for that? That's not what I wanted to do. Okay, hold on. That's not what I wanted. Put that one on there. Okay, that's so the path file for that is, there it is. So the path file will go directly into our track. Now this is not dated yet. I want to make that clear. So this is all going to be still wide open. It's not been dated. So all the files that are needed to load in the game itself, in the sim, is right in here. This is the file that we want to use for that. So that's going to, once we switch that over to moving, we'll be able to take the properties for this and paste that into that. That's the path file we want that object to read. One step at a time though. So let's go back to here. Back to our project. There we go. So helicopter.wave. This file for the sound that the helicopter will make will come from the shared. Actually, I don't know if it's shared or the sound. It'll actually go from into the sound folder, but it's not going to be in the track itself. I just make that clear. All right, so let's also add our animation nodes for this. I'll add all this stuff to it. Right from here, and the names of these nodes are very specific. So they are case sensitive. So if you don't type these in right, as far as if you apply a typo to it to include the case sensitiveness of it, it won't work. You have to make sure. And you can get a lot of this information right from in the model itself, actually. So for example, this Heli-01, I find it again. Got a lot of files in here as far as our track edit folders, making sure I got the right. So this Heli-01, we can open this up with Notepad, bring that over here, and we can find a lot of these things in here. So for nav light, for example, you could copy this right out of the this here too. Don't ever edit this 3DO on Notepad, that's for sure. Don't ever do that. But you can get a lot of information for it. So this nav light, and also if you scroll through this, in a lot of cases it's sometimes easier to read it in Sublime or even Notepad++. There should be one in here for heli frame. There it is. So you can copy these values right from the edit Notepad, I guess, as far as over the 3DO, and plop those in, I guess, as far as to your object properties, just to ensure that it's named properly. This is what it's going to call for on that model as far as what frames are applied to it. If you don't name that properly in this step over here, it's not going to work. So, all right, so let's go back up to here and get that. Where'd that one go? Nav light right here. We'll copy it right out of here and apply that node like so. Add that, and then we can look at our cheat sheet here over here, and that needs to have 2 frames and 30 seconds per frame. Okay, and we'll apply that. 2 frames and then 30 seconds per frame. All right, we're still going. Let's being very vigilant on that. Making sure that the video doesn't freeze. Check my stats here real quick. Un momento. Yeah, we seem to be doing pretty good. Hopefully it stays that way. Awesome. All right. I do have Max open. I don't have anything loaded into it, so I just that's another reason why I'm being very with that. So we got that set where we need it to. Now we need to add this LE frame, which also we can get that from our properties here. When we open our 3DO up here in Notepad, we can get that. Oh, here's another reference to it here too. I know it was in here a couple times ago. I was trying to find it here at the top. Next, I find it. But as you go through it, some of this stuff in here is usable. All right. So to get the proper names of things, so we're going to copy that. Like I said, don't ever edit this 3DO in this fashion. We'll break it. Not a good idea. All right, so hella frame, add that, and then the hella frame has. Oh, I did that one backwards. My bad. So the hella frame is the one that needs 2 and 30. So I'll fix this here. 2 frames, and this needs 30. So it's the hella frame that needs that. And then the nav lights are the 70 and 30. Okay, so we're going to change this one here to 70 and 30. There we go. Now we got the proper settings on that. So everything else is set there. We're going to set it to moving. Now this is where we can actually set that path file and what type it is. So it is a chopper. Right? So to set the speed on this one here, we got, by default, is 30. Yep, so it's 30 as a chopper, so we'll do 30. And we always want to maintain it to start at waypoint 0, and that's based on the path file. You usually don't need to change that by default. So we need the name of that path file, as I already showed, is in here. We're going to copy the properties of that file. Copy that. And then okay, we don't need this anymore. We got everything we need out of that. Paste that into the properties of this one. Right here. And that's all you need, is just the name of the path file. We just copied the properties of the name of that one, and because it's not a file that is, you know, it's registered to the system, you know, as far as you're on Windows, it's going to show the path extension to it. So, and that's good because we need that. Okay, that's everything that we need to do to place that one in there. And what I'm going to do is delete the one that Fortune originally put in there. We're going to do it this way. Okay, so all that's done that way. So let's take out, and I'm going to go to my properties list like this, and we're going to find the original helicopter here. And more than likely, because it's not showing in the top view, is because I got two objects right on top of each other, right, of the same nature. Just one that's named differently than the one I just brought in. So that highlight, I'm just going to go ahead and delete. Should have deleted that. Okay, that should have deleted that. Let's make sure. And let's go. Chapter EFG. These are all alphabetic. Sure, I deleted the right one. Okay, so now we got just the Heli 01 one that I want to keep in there with all of our properties to that. We're going to see if we can't get this one to work. Okay, so now that's where that should spawn and where it should fly from, take off from, go on its path and come back. At least in theory. Alright, so now what I want to do, while I'm in here doing this, is adjust the params for the flags. Let's do that. So we'll start here with the ones in victory lane. Let's pan over to that, and we should be able to select them from here. Yep. Now we'll have to do each of these flags individually. It's probably one of the only downsides to it. Okay, so we've got these two here. We've got two up on the big hoss, and then the American flag. We got each one of those flags. We're gonna have to apply the same process to. Okay. That flag too, so it is fixed. We are going to add. Again, this information is available on that other information tab of the Spline Design Studio site. We need to go to flag, and the flag usually has a slow, medium, and fast. So we're going to do the slow first, then the medium, then the fast. And then obviously we want to use wind direction as well. Okay, so once you've got your item in place where you want it to be, then you would set it to use wind direction. Actually, I think you can just go ahead and apply that anyway. What it will gray out when you use this one here is these rotations will gray out. That's what it is. I knew there was something that grayed out, just like the making something moving as opposed to fixed. It won't allow you to put information down here in the moving object. So that's the way it's designed. All right, so let's do the slow. So with that that object selected, just to confirm, flag 2, which is our Texas flag, we'll apply node slow. And again, these are specific to what is in the object itself. If it isn't, if you're not using the proper nodes in here, what is applied to the actual object, it will not work. So we got slow, and the slow is 40 frames and 29 frames a second. That. Alright, that's the slow. Now the medium. Add that. And the medium is 40 and 31. And you can feel free, I guess, as far as to put whatever values you want. I'm just using the default values. That's the way we've got this this new flag. It's as far as design. Well, to mimic much the same as the original flag. Then we got fast. We'll add fast. And the values for fast are 30, 28, effectively. That's for one flag. Okay, now we can just go to our items list and go to our next flag. So flag 2. That one's on the big house, must be. I'm going to get this one right here next. Yeah, I'm going to do that one next. Oh, wait a minute. What's going on here? What do I got selected there? I've got flag 2. Oh, that was weird. It was actually showing stuff for the helicopter for there for a second. Anyway, so yeah, we got our flag 2, and we can confirm here in our camera view. Yeah, just to confirm, we got the proper object in queue. So we already did this one here. Now we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to do slow. Add that. Go back to our information here. So for slow, 40 and 29. Alright. That one's good. Then we do our medium. Add that. And then the medium is 40 and 31. And then fast. Fast is 30 and 28. There we go. So there's that flag. I'm gonna go ahead. So we got that flag. So for some reason those are out of order, but we can always select one. That one should be one on the big hoss. So we'll go to. So one thing that does come in handy too. When you select something in here, you can go zoom selected, look at your camera, and it'll at least point it in the direction of where that's at. At least it'll give you an idea of where it's at. So it doesn't actually zoom to it, but it'll actually point it in the direction of where that object is, so at least gives you somewhat of an idea. So when you get a lot of objects that are in your track, it can be sometimes hard to like, where the heck did I put that one again? That's one way to at least get you pointed in the right direction in the camera view. Okay. So on this flag, we want to do the same thing. Slow. Add that and go back to our page here. I want to make sure I get them all the same, so that all of them are different. It could be easy to do that if you try to just, oh yeah, I remember what it was, you know, and just put the wrong values. It happens. That's why I got this information up here. Alright, so slow 40-29, medium 40 and 31, and fast, which is 30 and 28. And 28. Okay, so there's that flag. Next one, that one we already got. That's the next one. I think that's the other one on the big hoss. Let's double check. Yep, that's the other one on the big hoss. Cool. So we'll do that one. Slow. Bring up our information. A little bit tougher for me to kind of get it all on one screen, so it's normally if you've got more than one monitor, you can put that information on one screen, and you're working on properties again in another. That way, you don't have to keep focusing back up there. So there's that. Okay, so this one's 40, and then we just have one more flag to do after this. Low, medium. Okay, so the medium is 40 and 31. And the fast. 30 and 29. 30 and 28, my bad. They're all the same. Okay, so one more we need to do, and that should be just the flag 1. All the flag 2s are done. Flag 1, which is also on the big hoss, right there. Okay. Just to confirm we do have the right one, flag 1. Same thing, slow, 40-29. And then the only other thing we'll have to do with each of these is make sure we put set it to wind direction. I'm just doing one step at a time. You could probably take the approach that gets as far as to go ahead and just check that right away. Kind of the method of my madness. Do it how you wish, as far as you want to get all that taken care of one fell swoop. Go for it. Go for it. Okay, so our medium is 40-31. And our fast, last but not least, fast is 30 and 28. Gotta add it first. Gotta make sure you add the node. Okay, there we go. Now I'll go ahead, I'll go wind direction. That just grays out the rotation there, because obviously it's going to move based on, the rotation is going to move based on wind direction. And when you have the real weather with any wind direction, as far as like any certain mile an hour, if you set that or just have it do a realistic, it's going to follow that dynamic. Okay. Now we'll go back to each one of these flags and set that wind direction. Okay, do that one. That one. That one. And that one. Cool. Should be 5 of them in total. So there's 2 here. 2 Texas flags on the Big Hoss, and then the American flag. That's 5 flags in total. Alright, so we've got everything that we want to do, I guess, as far as to edit this, as far as to redo that helicopter. I'm going to maintain keeping the other helicopter in here for now, but it's not, right at this point here, it's not tied to the track as far as the PTF, right? So the track that the helicopter we should see working is the one I just applied. Let's go back to geometry. Now with all that done, we're going to save this as a new PTF so as to not step on the one that Torch has done. So if none of this does work, we can always revert. Nothing else. Save as. We're going to save this one. So today is the 28th. We'll mark this 5/28. And I'm also going to put my name on this too, just to kind of confirm. Put my tag on this. As well as the date. Just to kind of solidify the fact I know this one's my adjustments. Okay, so we'll save that. And then just to confirm it did save that. There should be. Along with the SPX. So what we're going to need to do is put this PTF and that new 3DO, that unnamed, unrenamed helicopter, that's the only two files that we need to put in our game track directory. Because we didn't add anything else, let alone taking anything away. At least for now. Eventually, if we can confirm that this helicopter that we just applied works, then we will not need this helicopter file here. If we confirm that this one works. So these two same helicopters use the same files as far as texture files. The only thing different is this one's been renamed from that. Okay, but this one here does not want to work. It does not want to populate when that Torch renamed. And I'm thinking it may have something to do with the fact that it's been renamed. So the simulation doesn't like it. So we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out. Okay. So need to do what I just said. I need to put this PTF, and this 3DO, copy that over to our game track directory. Right here. Paste that in. Shouldn't be anything to overwrite because all these files are new. I am going to back up this PTF. This is Torch's adjustments PTF that he sent to me that I renamed so that I can read it in the sim. Gotta make sure it's always named the same name as the file folder, track folder. What I do need to do is rename this guy. The backup, and I think there's already a backup in here, so it's probably gonna yell at me, and that's okay. Yep, I'll just name that. Right. Now we're gonna go up here and rename our PTF that we just made. Copy the name of the track folder. Rename that. So now this file will load. Will get read in the sim, and then everything tied to that PTF to include that all the parameters to our flags, which already had those parameters, which already is set, I guess, as far as to use those parameters, and then that helicopter file. In theory, this should work, right? So in theory, what we're going to do now is launch the sim, get this loaded up, and see what we got. So initially, what I'm going to do is go into testing just to make sure that the track does load in testing. Here we don't get a could not load. Okay, so it does load. That's good. Now I've got the wind on this one here set to 0. So if I set this to 2, these flags should wave, as well as the ones on the big hospital. Can't see those as much as far as from this view, but let's go back. Okay, we're going to the options here. We're going to set this to 2 to give a little bit of wind. Now load it up. Now those flags should move. They do. Sweet. That's what they're designed to do. With that little bit of wind there, we got a little bit of wave in the flag. Now in testing mode, this helicopter is not supposed to work. It's only supposed to work from what I've checked out here. It's only supposed to load in during race, right? So we're gonna go into a race weekend. Now that we confirm that the track works this far, go in a single race, load the same track. And there we go. So, yep, we still got the 2 mile an hour applied to the flags, and we can see those are waving. That's That's progress. So it shouldn't, at least anyway, show, I guess, as far this helicopter anyway during practice or happy hour. But I am going to navigate to each of these sessions. Let's go to qualifying. We're not going to actually do it, just to kind of see. Still no helicopter. I'm liking the flags that actually do work. You can kind of see them in the distance here over on the big hoss. They are waving as well. Okay, so it doesn't seem there's no helicopter, I guess, as far as in qualifying. Okay. Let's switch it over to happy hour. Give it some time to get it all loaded in. Okay, so still no helicopter. So it should be coming over from this direction. That's where we should start off here and should fly off. We should be able to see it. So far, not seeing anything. So if this doesn't work this way, I want to check out the Atlanta default and check it out that way. Yep, so far nothing. Alright, so let's go to race, which is when it should actually show. So we got a lot more things populated in the infield under race, the actual race, and that's by design to include the animations for the big hoss. I'm wondering if the thing is even there. So let's do this. I'm gonna go done. Let's go drive. Use my cam hack here. So the blimp works fine. See Wingfoot 1 up there. That's okay. We are not going to actually race. We're gonna actually do this. Toggle my mouse there. See if we can see this flag or the helicopter. Still not seeing any helicopter, so it should be coming from this direction. I'm going to see if it's actually even parked there, as it should be. And like I said, if this doesn't work, I'm going to look at the default Atlanta, check it out that way to see how that, because that helicopter is evident in that track. Yeah, it's not even there. Not even there. Wingfoot's out there. Holy crap, that sun. Sun is bright. Yeah, that Wingfoot's out there for sure. Wingfoot's definitely out there.
Call the green there. Nice smooth tip, and I'll walk in front of you. Go get them. Alright, man, pace cars in. Get ready. Grind, grind, grind. Grind, grind, grind. Tailor's out. Keep digging. Caution's gonna be out. All the way to the line. Come on. All the way to the line. Pace cars. In turn 1.
Is it muted? My bad. Yeah, so my crap.
Pace cars. In turn 2.
Let me do this. Yeah, God, it was muted. Hold on. Yep, I was muted. I didn't make sure. So the keys that I got, I guess, as far as for navigating around there, it does tend to mute the mic, so appreciate that. The only thing I was doing is just confirming is as far as the helicopter doesn't seem to work. As you can see the waving flags, I guess, as far as on the big hoss. Yep. That's why we got those sound alerts in there too, I guess, as far as to get my attention. So the AI had a caution within the first couple of laps. No fault to me because I'm still on pit road. But yeah, so we know the flags are working the way they should be. That's good. So what I am going to do, let's reset this. Get out of this. And we're going to do some, we're going to take a look at the Atlanta track default and see how that helicopter works in that. So if it works in there, we're going to take a closer look and see what we got to do to apply that. So I don't know what's going on with that. So it doesn't seem to have anything to do with the fact that Torch renamed it from its original name. You've got all the other aspects that need to it, to include the path file we want it to read, to use. So not 100% sure. Let's take a look at the Atlanta track. Default vanilla with no sprinkles or anything on it. Just bare bones Atlanta. You know what? I don't have this. I don't have that. Okay, I got that in a separate folder. So what we're gonna have to do, get out of this for a second. I need to bring that track over. So what I did, all the default tracks, because all these are modded tracks, right? All the default ones are in here. I need to bring this guy over and actually use it. Okay, so now we can load that one up. Try that out. And we'll do the same thing here. We're going to single race. Put Atlanta. Now it should be in here. Better be in here. There it is. Default, no sprinkles, vanilla, Atlanta. Go ahead and load this up. Okay, so I'm gonna go right to race because that's when that helicopter should actually show. And again, much like I did with Texas there, I'm not going to actually run a race. We're gonna go drive. I end it this time. Alright, mouse. I don't know what the path file is for this helicopter, so I'm going to be with my eyes open. It's parked over in this direction. Okay, there's the helicam. That's a different one. That's the yellow one. Is that it over there? I think that's it over there. I think that's it right over here. So that does seem to work. Oh my gosh, that sun. Yeah, so that's it right there. Up there in the back stretch, you can barely see it, but it is there. But he's flying out, way out past the sun, over that side of the end of the track. So it does actually work. I'm just going to see if I can. I don't know if he just goes back and forth. I'm not sure what its path file is. Didn't check that. Being careful not to.
I'll call the green there. Nice first hit, I'll walk in front of you.
I'm gonna park myself over here to see if it comes back.
Get ready.
Ooh, that sun, that's crazy. Yikes. That blimp's working. See if he comes back. There he is right there. You can see him right there. That is the helicopter that we're trying to get to work in Texas. I believe. Yep. See, he's turning right now. Oh crap. He's definitely got his own path file. He's way out here though. That's crazy. So it does actually populate, and it works. So we just need to figure out what's going on with why it's not working in our Texas track. He's way out there though, isn't he? All right. So we'll have to do take a closer look at. I don't think he lands either. We'll take a look at the path file for that and see what's going on with it. It might be something we might have to adjust to the path file in our Texas build. Check it out. Yeah, he goes way out there, so he just kind of stays out here in the back stretch, it seems like. Okay. Go ahead and get out of this. We're going to take a look at the path file for the default Atlanta. See what's going on with that in comparison to our path file for our Texas build. Alrighty then. Okay, let's do this. So we should have... You know what? That's going to be in the unpack. That's where it's going to be. Okay, hold on. You can go here. That path file should be right there. Alright, so open that bad boy up. So the Heli 2, the Heli Cam is the yellow one. Okay. The one we were following there should be this one right here. So it's on the back stretch. Let's hit it. Notepad. Okay, let's see what we got here. I'm gonna see if I can decipher. It's got 9 waypoints. Okay, let's get an idea here. Let me look at the track here in Sandbox. Okay, so it goes. So it doesn't matter where you actually park it. It's where it starts based on the path file is what counts. This is the path it's going to follow based on the one that you assign it in Sandbox. So where you put it in the track, it doesn't matter. Where you visually put it, it's where the path file, if that's pointed to that, it's probably a fair mention. So this is not. Let me go to geometry and see if we can get the D-longs and D-lats and so on. Alright, so it is going. Look at that. So we got XYZ, so 11,755. It does land, it looks like 2.5. Sort of lands. The height on this one's 2.5 at that coordinate. Let me see where it starts off. So 11,755. Those are XY coordinates. Take a look here. Well, 11. That's in the center somewhere. 11. Okay, hold on a second. 11,755. Trying to figure out what they've got here for XY coordinates. Oh, it did it again. Look at that. That bot is being super stingy. Toying with you. Yo, this way, but also. Yeah, so it's definitely way out here. So by my count, should be out here is where it starts. Okay, so somewhere out here is where it starts. Okay. And then it goes to 630, 335, 630, Actually out this way. Now I'm getting to wonder, what's that name helicopter? So the path this one seems to be taking is going this way. Hell. What is this one? So minus 500, 311. Yeah, so that's over here. Yeah, so it seems to be going this way. That's probably not the helicopter that I was following there. That's not the one. That must be the Heli 2. Okay. Alright, so based on the path file that I got here for this one that we want to get working, it seems to be going, based on what I can see here anyway, it goes, dang it, crap. It goes from here and it comes around. So it's mainly going across the front stretch, not the back stretch like we were witnessing. Oh, you know what? I'm looking at Texas, you dummy. Shoot. Alright. Gotta look at the right track. Alright, so hold on. Let me check this out again. Not that it should matter, because the orientation is still counterclockwise. It should still be about the same. Yeah, so the fact that the orientation of the track is still the same. We got the front stretch over here, back stretch here, so this will be the same. So what I'm going to do is go back into the sim and actually see if we can find it. It should be actually going from here. Anyway, I gotta see if I can find that. Obviously the one we were following is not the helicopter that we want. Okay, so go back into the sim. And we'll load up the vanilla Atlanta again. Erase. See what's going on here. We're gonna get down to the bottom of this. Okay, so we're gonna go right to race. Right. Okay, so. Oh, yeah. Oops, should be over in this direction. That's the Helicam 2. That one right there, that's the yellow one. I know it's not that one. That's not the one we want. Crap, I just shifted. That's not the one we want. I don't know if... Check over here. Should be another copter here somewhere. Whoa, that sun. Yeah, the blimp works good. Might have to double check and see which path file is being used as what's. I might be making assumptions that aren't correct. The Helicam 2, you can definitely see that's working. Helicam 2 usually doesn't land. That's flying over there over turn 1.
Right, man. I'll call the green there. Nice smooth shift. I'll walk in front of you. Go get him. All right, man. Pace cars in.
I am not seeing.
Grind.
Another helicopter over here. Besides the Helicam 2. The Helicam, I shouldn't say Helicam 2. Where are you at? Okay, so the Helicam, there's the Helicam. He's making his rounds all the way around the track. Oh. Where are you at? I'm not seeing that bugger anywhere. So there's that other one. Let's see, which one is this one? I need to confirm which one this actually is on the backstretch. That might be the Heli 2. Find out here in a second. Yeah, there's the Helicam right there. It's the yellow one. Making sure I'm not muting my mic again. Yeah, this guy right here. Let's see if this is actually the one. Let me get close enough to this guy. Yeah, that guy right there. Wow, he is out here. I think that's the Heli 2. He is way out there. I know it's hard to see him probably on screen, but I've got an eye on him. See if he comes back. I want to confirm that this is the Heli 2 or not. He's swinging back around here, looks like. Now, which one are you? That's the Heli 2. Okay. Firm. So it doesn't have the landing gear on it. Okay, so we still gotta find that that's the blimp. Okay. Holy crap. I just run into there. That's crazy. I'm still not seeing this Heli 01. Yeah, so that confirmed that's the one in the backstretch here is the Heli 2. That's the one we don't want. It's not the one we want. So I'm wondering if does that helicopter not work? Does it not populate into the track? Wonder if that's part of the problem. That's what I'm tending to wonder. I am not seeing that guy anywhere. I see the Helicam, the blimp, and the Heli 2, but not that Heli 01. Might be onto something here. I'm driving. Whoopsie, I forgot I did shift into gear. Kind of drifting somewhere. Probably caused an accident. I'm not seeing this guy anywhere. Oh, alright, we're going to take a closer look. Yep. Yeah, we rolling. Let's go ahead and retire. Alright, we got to get... I'm wondering if there's an issue with this Heli 01. I don't see it anywhere, even in this default Atlanta. Okay, take a closer look at the path file. I did see a spot where supposedly it semi-lands, and that is minus 200, 168. Let's see. Minus 200, 168. Let's go. Minus 200. 160. Supposedly lands somewhere right in here. Right in here. It supposedly lands. Based on this path file, at least anyway. But with that done, let's go back into object placement. And let's select that. Heli 01. Shared item. So you know the blimp and everything else, all the other helicopters do work. not this LE01. Let's see. LE2 does work. That's the one that's in the back stretch. LE cam, that's the yellow one. This is the one we don't see. Okay, so based on, so we can kind of play around with this. So if we put these X coordinates in here, minus 200, minus 200, and then 168. That's about where it's supposed to land. Okay, so just to confirm, it's supposed to land. Oh, on camera view. I got 2 instances of it open here. So it is supposed to land right here based on that path file. But also I want to confirm path files are using. Oh crap, let's stop. What is that? I'm sure. What the hell? What is that? Or is that the hell? I don't know what that is. That's weird. I don't know what that was. Yeah, we're still alive, just making sure. I don't know what the heck that was. It might have something to do with the cam hack. Or what might be. I closed the game out. That's good. Alright, so we already showed this. I'll close this out. Close some of these things out. Okay. I think that might have something to do with the cam hack that I use. I guess as far as for panning around the track, I'm not sure. Anyway, so we can confirm that it's supposed to land this helicopter we're trying to get to work right there. And so what I did was I moved it, so the fact that it still doesn't even show this way. I'm wondering if there is an issue with this particular helicopter, as far as in the shared sense. It is using the Heli 01 path, and I don't see anything out of the ordinary. Right, let me go ahead and open this up in Notepad instead of Notepad++, just to make sure. Let's do this. Let's go. I'm going to use Notepad. Okay, so even in Notepad, regular Notepad. So at that coordinate, minus 240, 168, 35, and then it goes back up. It does get pretty high, actually. It goes from 60 to 100, so it does get up there in the air. So is it just too high for us to see it? Could be. I guess if nothing else, we can run the track or whatever, see if it actually does land. We could probably even go, I don't know. That'd be a good idea. I was thinking we could edit the path file. Could do that too. Just to get that to land. I want to see if it actually does populate. So yeah, let me do that. I'm gonna make a copy of this. Put it right in the track folder. Let's do that. We're gonna do this for science. Just for science. Paste this right into our default track. Okay, and then we'll edit it from here. Okay, so what we'll do, we're only gonna put 2 waypoints in here. We'll do 2. And I'm gonna keep it in the general vicinity of where this lands. So we go from here, here, there, there, there. I think I got an idea. So I'll take make a copy of this. Back up. Make a backup of that. Okay. That way I got something to fall back on while I edit this. Okay, so 2 waypoints. I'm only gonna do that one and this one. I'm gonna take all the rest of these out. We're gonna force this, I guess, to land, take off, and then basically just being a quick loop, it gets as far as to land and take off. It's gonna be this 2 waypoints. So these. This is basically going to be waypoint 0. 1. This is why I made a copy of it. This one. Whoop. And then delete. Yeah, I think this should work in theory, at least, anyway. In theory. At least get it to see if it'll populate in that parking spot for it. Okay. Save that. That. Now we'll go back in there and see if we can get that to actually... See if it does show. If it doesn't show, the only conclusion I can make is there's something wrong with that... helicopter 3DO. That's in the shared stuff. Okay. Which just means that you won't be able to use that helicopter if you want something to show. Let's launch the sim. Oh, we got that path file that so it's going to read whatever's outside of the DAT file. Even though there is one in the DAT file, it's going to read that one that's outside of the DAT file. That's going to be the single race. Atlanta. And we're gonna go right to race. Actually, I should probably check this in practice just to see if it does. No, we're not. Let's see. Let's confirm. Okay, so it should be right out here. It is not. Okay. Confirmed. It's not out here. So let's get out of the car. We'll go to race.
Driver, start your engine.
Yeah, there's nothing there. Nope, nothing there. So I'm thinking there is a problem. There is definitely a problem with this this helicam, or not heli. I keep calling it a helicam. This Heli 01. It should be parked right there, as far as by the somewhere in the vicinity of the scoring pylon, and it is not. So for some reason, it's probably there. You just can't see it. So yeah, there seems to be an issue with that one too. Okay. Interesting. So yeah, the fact that I forced it to only have 2 waypoints should definitely be populating. So there's the Heli 2 that's in the back stretch. You can see that one just barely. Yeah, this Heli 01 seems to have an issue. That one don't work. I mean, and by don't work, it just doesn't populate. You don't see it visually anywhere here on the track because it should be right there. So it should be.
Alright, man. I'll call the green there. Nice smooth shift.
Helicam works right there, and the Heli 2 works.
Alright, man. Pace cars in. Get ready. Grind.
I'm just keeping it over here just to see if I can get it to populate at all. But the key for my accelerator I used, it's actually to pan the camera too. It's funny. Yeah, so it should be showing up in this general vicinity, and it is not. It is not. So I feel that that helicopter is broken. Alrighty then. So right, enough of that. Go ahead and retire. So the fact that it doesn't show in Sandbox when you bring it in, you don't get any errors for that because as long as you bring all the files in. But it does not want to show at all, even in any session as far as in the game itself. So there's definitely something broke with that. Definitely seems to be something broke with that. All right, so that's enough confirmation for me. Let's go ahead and delete. What I'm thinking at this point is just to go ahead, and it's not as visually appealing. I do understand, but the original helicopter that I did test with Torch, gets as far as that we know does show, probably the better option. So that would be the Heli 2, which is, so at least we got the flags working right. So the Heli 2, which is this guy. We'll have to get this guy, I guess, as far as the show. So this one we can confirm it does even work in the default track on the back stretch, right? So I think what we'll do, this is the one that we originally designed. That Heli 01 just does not want to show. So I think what we'll do, it might be against the better judgment I'm going to bring that Heli 2 in here, into the track anyway. Open with Notepad. I want to make sure I get all the files for that. I think it's only got a Heli 2 Night, Rot, and let's do this. So we got MIP, so Rot, Heli 2 MIP, and a Heli 2 Night MIP, which I think we're already in there. Okay. Alright, let's pull. Alright, so what I want to do actually is go ahead and close out this. Actually, what I can do, let me, no, I'm going to close this out first. Yeah. Nice fresh slate on this. How we doing video-wise? Cool. Still no video freeze. Awesome. I'm going to switch over to this really quick just to kind of keep everything happy. Yeah, so far so good. I'm gonna switch it over here just for a second, folks. We'll switch it back. So eventually I want to get some racing in here, and this is going to be the screen we'll be on, I guess, as far as to have that launch. I'm going to launch the game on this PC. This is without any changes, I guess, as far as to the track yet. So all the changes that we've applied so far are not in here yet. So just to confirm. So let's go back. Just want to make the video capture card a little bit happy. Anyway, alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to bring in the appropriate files that we need for the Heli 2 and actually bring that in there. So I know it's probably not what Force necessarily wanted, but that helicopter's, this doesn't want to show. So I think you'd rather have something visual, I guess, as far as showing, as opposed to now the fact that this one's, you know, I can agree, I guess, as far as that this one's probably not as visually appealing, you know, as far as it has no landing gear or anything like that to actually land, but the fact that we can't confirm it works, right? I think it would be better to have that in there than not. So a couple things I need to do here. First off, I'm going to remove that helicopter file that we took out already. Let's do that first. Just gotta find it. This guy, let's confirm which files belong to that. That is the one that should still be Heli 01. The only thing we should have to do is just take that 3DO out. Yep. Remember, let's do find. Yep, I'm gonna run through the MIPS here and see which ones belong to that. So Heli rotors. Yep. That. Heli 01. Yep. Rotor. And Heli, yep. So what we've got in here, so what we can do, essentially, take this guy out. It's not being used at all. It's not tied to the PTF at all. Cut that one out, and actually put that into... So where is my... Dadgummit. Yeah, that's my game track directory. I don't want that one. Yes. Close that, or... Go back this way. There we go. So we want to get that out of here. Cool. That's removed. Now we should be able to reopen this track even without that in there, and that's to confirm that this, we're going to open our PTF. Done. This should still allow the track to load. If it doesn't, well, obviously something else is wrong. Okay. So far it seems to be loading. Give it a second. Oh crap, alright. I gotta close it completely out. Nope, I gotta close it right out. Okay, let's try that again. So we're gonna go right back to the track edit folder. Reload it this way. That was a complete crash. That sometimes happens with Sandbox. It's to be expected. Give that a second. There we go. Alright, so track does load. Alright, now what we're going to do is go through the same process that we did as far as to add it in there to that spot, but only use the Heli 2. This is the way I thought Torch was going to do. Obviously, he took the approach of just renaming the Heli 01, I guess, as far as to the helicopter that he previously had. So that obviously didn't work either. So we're going to make this right. So let's go Object View. And what we're going to do is take the Heli 2. Is in here. Get all the files that we need for that. So eventually, once we get that one in there, we'll have to take out the files that are needed for the other helicopter. Yeah. So these Heli 01, the rotors, and the end heli, take that all out. That's in the Texas track, at least, anyway. So Heli 2. We need one, this one, and that one. The files we need. Oh, actually, we need the rot file too. Yeah, the MIT old rot. That's the other one. Right there. Copy those files. Into our track edit folder. Paste. Okay, so we got all that stuff in there. So eventually we'll be able to get rid of the files that are associated to the Heli 01 once we get this one in here. So Heli 2, we're still going to use the same path file that we were using for that. So This as long as we assign that properly in here in Sandbox. Should be fine. Okay, so let's bring in that Heli-02. Now that we got all the appropriate files, let's zoom into where we want to put this. Right over here. Add. So this is going to be right in the track. This is the guy we want to bring in. Cool. Now, initially set this to... Oh wait, no. Where's our Heli-2? Here's the Heli-2. That's about where we want it right there, and that's fine. Like I said, it does not matter where you park it in the track initially, because it's going to follow the path file anyway. So you could put it anywhere out here for that example. It's the path file that's going to read as far as where it starts, where it flies to, and so on and so forth. So we're just going to put it generally right there. We want it to be moving. Set this to chopper. The path file that we want is right into... We got to get that from here in our actual track folder. Okay, so our path file we want it to read is this guy. We'll copy the name of that, paste that to the properties of this one that we're bringing in. Set that one to 30. And this one does not have any other animation nodes like the other helicopter did. So we don't need anything else to that. And the way we can confirm that is by looking at information here for Heli-2. So there's Blimp, Heli-01, Heli-Cam, 737, Cessna. Oh, I don't have Heli-2 in here, unfortunately. My bad. I do not have that one in here. I'll be damned. I got all the other ones in here though. But yeah, we can confirm there are no other animation nodes or whatnot, I guess, as far as to that Heli-2, like there is on that Heli-01. So we'll have to do some more investigating as far as what's up with the Heli-01 and what we can do to get that to work. Kind of unfortunate. For how long that's been a thing. Alright, let's continue to put the properties in here for this. So we need chopper 30 milliseconds, I guess, as far as not miles per hour, so that's how fast it'll go. That should be pretty sufficient. Let's set the sound file, which will read through the sound dat, which has a helicopter that wave. That should be all we need. So we're going to read that path file that's in the track folder, right? And this is the item. So when we save this again as a new PTF, we took out the other guy. No, I didn't take it out yet, my bad. Correct that. We gotta actually take that other one out. The Heli-01. Do not want that one in there anymore. This guy we need to take out. Bye-bye. And now we can save it. We're going to go ahead and switch this back to geometry and save as a new PTF. And I'll just do this one as a B. 2 PTFs so far that I've used. Alrighty then. Now what I want to do is close this out. I want to remove those files for the Heli-01. Okay, so now that we've added the ones for our Heli-2, we've confirmed it. We didn't get any errors for bringing that one in there. For the Heli-01 files, we need to get that all out of here. That one, that one, that one. And then there's here, let me open it up this way so I can confirm which ones we need to get out of here. Open with Notepad. Alright, so let's do... This is always the way you can find out which MIP files, which texture files are assigned to your 3DO. Open it up in Notepad. Oh, not MUP, I need MIP. I don't know what a MUP is, but Alright, so we need the heli rotors. Heli 01. Heli. Well, there's an N heli rotors too. Okay. So we got an N heli rotors. Bring this up a little. Yeah, we got an N heli rotors. We got some night files. N heli 01. Ambulance lights. I don't know if we had that one in here. I'll have to double check that. Do we got ambulance lights in here? I think we do. Oh, we do. But I think that's being used by our actual ambulance. This ambulance too. I think this one's using it as well. So that's probably a file we don't want to take out. So let me confirm. This one. I think this one's using ambulance lights already. Ambulance. And ambulance light. So we already got something else that is using that, so we don't want to take that one out as far as ambulance light. So okay, that's fine. Flashing lights was another one. I do not think that's being used by anything else. Okay, cool. So flashing lights. Okay, I think I got all the files I need to get out of here. LE01 at LE rotors, and then we got N heli. This is this one, and then a flashing lights, which is that one right there. So we're gonna delete all those out. That's all the files for that other helicopter. So with exceptions to the ambience lights, which is also used, we got an object in here and still using that, so we can definitely maintain that. Okay, now we're going to try and open up the track. Now if the track opens with this new PTF after removing all that stuff, then we know we're okay. If it doesn't, then we know we took out too many files. Okay, so it looks like so far it is loading up. Just give it a second. This is the approach that I like to take anyway, as far as adding and especially subtracting items. Alright, so the track does load. That's good. That means we got all the files out related to that other helicopter, but now we've got that other heli 2 should be over here. It's not. So it might be below the track. Below the track. I think this is another one of those that doesn't show, but it actually does show in the game. That might be part of the issue there. Alright, so just let's go to object view. We'll go find our heli 2. And if it highlights, then we know it's there. It doesn't show. Heli 2. So yeah, it is there. So when we go into the sim, we should be able to see this one fly and take off and come back and all that good stuff based on our path file. Okay, we're good to go so far. So now all we got to do at this point, we need to go into our game track directory and adjust that accordingly. So we go into here. I'm going to get rid of some of these backups that we have here. We don't need these. That one. So far, the one we have in there currently is fine. Alright. I'm going to take these out and then just back up this current PTF that we know does work. I'm going to back this guy up. Just to kind of clean the track folder up a little bit. Okay. So that. Okay, now we're going to bring in, first I want to do is actually take out all the files that we don't need. So this helicopter, heli rotors, heli 01, and heli. All the files associated with that. Okay, where's that N heli? Okay, there's inhaler, rotors, and also flashing lights. Which is right. Where you at? There it is. Okay, so we're taking the original helicopter that Torch had in there to include all the files associated with the Heli 1, which both of these models here use the same files. That's what I'm taking out. That's already been confirmed. Alright. Now we can bring in our new files, which is going to be this PTF that we just saved, the Heli 2, and its associated files. Heli 2. This is much more simplified in my opinion. Much more simplified. Copy those into our game track directory. Paste. And then the other thing we got to do is rename that PTF to our track folder name. Okay. Rename. There we go. So now we got everything we need to be able. Oh, son of a gun! Oh, I hate when I did that. I had those all still selected. Oh, I hate when I do that. Hate when I do that. I gotta redo that. Hate when I do that. So I had everything still selected, so when I renamed the PTF, it renamed all those files that I had selected. Son of a gun, anyway. Okay, so I'm gonna delete all those. Son of a biscuit. Where's the other ones here? There should only be that. This was Heli. Oh, okay, so these are the only files I gotta delete. We gotta bring those back in. Yeah, that's one thing you don't want to do as far as when you're trying to rename a file. Make sure you don't have anything else selected. Otherwise, that's what'll happen. That's just a little bit of critique there. 101. Hey, there's Torch. How we doing there, Torch? Yeah, we're fixing the situation, I guess, as far as with the helicopter. That Heli 01 that you used, it don't work. It doesn't show up. We even confirmed that, I guess, as far as trying it out in the default track. It doesn't want to show. Yeah, I gotta figure you probably did. You said you tried to get here, I guess, as far as once you were done what you gotta do. But yeah, the only thing that we're doing right now, we've already confirmed previously, I guess, as far as that helicopter you were trying to use with the track, it doesn't show. So what I'm in the process of doing right now, I'm sure you probably want to have some type of helicopter actually populate, is to put the Heli 2. It's not as appealing, but at least it'll be a helicopter that'll show. So it showed for you. I don't know, dude. I've already confirmed myself or whatever, even in a default track, it doesn't show. But I think that one's broken for some reason. Yeah, it definitely doesn't want. I mean, you can feel free to do what you want. I'm making the appropriate changes that I feel I need to on my end and saving a PTF. So, but I've tried a couple of different ways to even check it out. That helicopter in a default track, it does not show in any session. You know, the fact that we can open it up in 3D Sim and it's fine, right? So I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, so the fact that this Heli 2, that's when I'm getting moved over here. Yeah, because I kind of boo-booed there a little bit. Let's see, we need to copy these guys from our track edit folder over to our game track directory. Okay, that's what I was doing. So get those back over here. And the boo-boo that I made was to have these items selected, I guess, as far as when I was trying to rename the PTF. They don't want to do that. So I know this one here is not as appealing. Oh shoot, I'm missing something. Oh, I'm missing the rot file. That's what I'm missing. Good thing I double checked that. Glad I double checked that. So we need the rot file as well from there. Yeah, so there's going to be some things that are going to need to be removed. Torch gets as far as that are related to that helicopter. Just to get something to populate, I guess that's the approach. Okay. Shoot, I forgot what I was doing. Oh, I need the rot file. That's what I missed. So we should have a ROT file right here. And so copy that over to our game track directory. Right here. Paste. Now, if we open up our LE2, didn't have anything pink or magenta. There we go. So this is the one that's gonna populate instead of the other one. I know the other one looks cool and all, but it doesn't show up at all. And I had to humor myself as far as to try to get that to load up a default. I used Atlanta, this vanilla Atlanta, with no sprinkles or anything. This flat out default Atlanta, and it doesn't show in there either, even though it is actually applied to the track. I had, in fact, I got it open here. Wait a minute, what do I got open here? Hold on. I need to close this one. Why I got that open? Yeah, so right here, we can see this is, it doesn't even show in here. So I moved it from the default location where it was, which was outside the track here. So even at default Atlanta, in Sandbox, as well as in the sim, it doesn't show in any of the sessions. But it is in here. I don't know why that is. So, anyway. This one does show. We did confirm, we did see this one flying around on the backstretch at default Atlanta. So we know this one actually will show. Like I said, it's probably not as aesthetically appealing. No landing gear or anything like that, but at least you'll have something flying, taking off, and so on. We'll have to investigate, I guess, as far as why that other one doesn't want to show. Alright, so we got all that in here. I got to rename the PTF. This is my second PTF at this point, because we tried the one helicopter. Obviously, that doesn't work, so now we're creating a new PTF to apply to this helicopter. So one of my initial thoughts was maybe because you had renamed that Heli 01 to helicopter to comply with what you had in your track. That obviously wasn't an issue. That model for the Heli 01 just does not want to show at all, no matter what you do. Alright, so we need to rename this to our track folder. Same name as our track folder. Okay, now we got everything we need for that. Okie dokie smoky. Yeah, everything else that we looked at, Torch, looks good. My only suggestion was that I mentioned earlier part of stream, and it's just a suggestion. I don't think it looks bad at all. The placement of it is definitely a lot better, but possibly on the medallion shells just to make it a little bit lighter. Just a little bit lighter. So looking at that texture earlier does make it look appear that it can be easily done. I just feel like these are just a little too dark. So you can tone it down just a skosh. You know, the placement of it is fantastic. Let alone that gate that's on turn 3. And all these shadows, the redo of the shadows here in turns 1 and 2. Down the backstretch and so on. Yeah, that's all hunky-dory. It's good to go. Yeah. So that would be my only suggestion, other than dealing with this helicopter that I've been. Everything else is great. Okay, so switch this back over here. Now we're gonna go into the sim again. Launch the sim. Now we got all the files that we need and the proper PTF. Let's see what we got here. So we're gonna go initially into testing and make sure this loads up in testing. So I already did the other thing I did do, Torch, that's probably fair to mention, is the flags. Now that I've gotten everything from you, I did apply the parameters to the flags where they need to be. So we got those flying as they should when you put any amount of wind to it, so that you can see that. So that's evident in both the these here and the ones on the big hoss. So those flags, as I already mentioned to you, those were in there. I just needed the proper parameters to it. And I, just like I said, I was going to wait until I got the latest update, I guess, as far as from you to get that done. So we're just in testing right now. So that helicopter isn't going to show in testing. I want to make sure this is not crapping itself. Hold on a second. Alright, let me switch this over real quick. Hold on, folks. I'm going to switch over to this scene. I want to dump out some of that going on in the... So this is already on the other PC. This has not been updated just yet. So... yeah, just checking some things out here before, I think the video capture was having a little bit of a fit. That's why I populated that over there. I don't know why, but... okay, so we got the game launched. I'm going to go ahead and close out Atlanta. Sandbox-wise, we don't need that anymore. We've already made our confirmations in there. No. Close that right out. Okay. Right. Why is that using so much CPU? What is running? Yeah, well, just bear with me, folks. Trying to get this some of these processes taken care of. I'm gonna go ahead and close out Sandbox. We got that. We can always reopen that. I don't know what's having a fit right now. Let's close out that. Wow, why is that using so much CPU? Hold on. CPU is having a fit right now. I don't know if it was because of the... bear with me. Trying to work that out. Wait, did I have two instances of that open? Maybe I did. I don't think I did. Maybe. Yeah, I'm going to close out Max. I don't think we're going to be doing anything in Max today. I'm going to close that out. Why is that using so much CPU? Come on now. Trying to save it from having a failure here. So I'm keeping it on the screen here for now. Let me switch it back. A lot of CPU users. I just wanted to make sure that was... I was using even more now. What the frick are you doing? Did it already freeze? It shouldn't have. It didn't peg completely out. Dirty rotten thing, you. Yeah, I don't get it. Tried to salvage it. I heard it peg up there, and it's just like, I don't know. Well, at least I was able to cover as much as I could. See, I thought I had this all figured out, and I guess I haven't. I thought maybe I could catch it just as far as before. That's why I thought maybe just by dumping out the video capture there, I guess as far as it would do that. But apparently that's not enough. I don't know. CPU is pegging the hell out right now. I don't understand that. I closed as many things as I can without completely shutting stream off. Okay, let me do this. I'm gonna try to shut some things off to hopefully free up some of that CPU. Maybe the video will come back. Open. Yeah, because even on OBS, it's not showing anything out of the ordinary other than my processes there for the CPU just keeps, it'll go from like 70 and come back down gradually. I don't know why. Yeah, I'm not going to do that thing like I tried to last time as far as to restart the stream, because then it just pings everybody, gets as far as notifications. I'm not going to be that guy. So if this is not going to come back, I'm just going to go ahead and end it. As unfortunate as that is. I don't know what else to do. This is nuts. I don't know what's causing this. I thought maybe it might have been I just let the video capture go for too long. Let me see if I can switch it back over. I know it definitely has something to do with the video capture. Definitely has something to do with that. That CPU just will not calm down. The only thing I got running right now at this point is the OBS. That's it. CPU will not calm down. So it's got to have... I got to get myself probably a different video capture. This video capture is not sufficient. It does not like it when you don't... At least it seems anyway, that when you don't focus on it, for lack of a better way to put it, for too long. Yeah, it does not want to seem to free up. I don't know what else to do, folks. The only thing I got running right now is OBS. That's it. And it won't free up. And the fact that I do know it has something to do with video capture, but it's a cheapie, I know that, but it's like I don't know what else to do, I guess, to get it to not do that. It went fine last week. I guess I just I'll let it go too long, I guess. Alright, maybe I don't know. I hate to do another ping, I guess, as far as to start up another stream. That's the only thing that sucks. I hate doing that. I hate being that guy. Just because it's some technical issue. Yeah, it's not freeing up. Alright, let me try this. Trying what I can. All I can do. know what that's gonna do. Let's see. That shouldn't even be working. Unbelievable. Bot anyway. Fresh.
A few moments later.
Tell me about it. Yeah, video still froze. I don't know what else to do. Everything's shut off. The only thing I got going is OBS, the streaming software. That's it. No bot. The fact that you're able to do slots, I have no idea why that's even a thing. I guess the bottom line comes down to I got to get a different video capture because this one obviously doesn't like OBS. It doesn't like it. Apparently, the only conclusion I can, because I can stream any other day that uses 100% full time, I guess, as far as the video capture, and not leave it in wait, and everything runs fine. So the fact that I don't use video capture, as far as while I'm doing the editing in Sandbox, and I have to remind myself to go over to that, I guess I just kept it on, not focused on the video capture card, I guess, as far as for too long. Now it's just freezing the video. And I can't get it to free it up without shutting stream down. So, yeah. I don't want to have to restart stream. That's the only thing. Crap. And I can't seem to get this to free up at all, unfortunately. You could probably, well, if I do that, that's gonna kill stream anyway too. Son of a biscuit. I don't know what else to do. I guess what I can do is I can fix what I need to do, because it's gonna take me a few minutes though. Shut this down. I can restart stream entirely, and then just bring it back that way. But that's my only other option in order to get the video to come back. Oh. I guess it's up to you folks. I guess as far as, I don't want to have to restart, but if that's what it takes, I'll do it. But I don't really want to have to, if that makes sense. Because if I stop it, it's going to re-ping everybody, I guess, as far as to, you know, stream's still going, and yeah, whatever. It's going to be like a whole new stream. Yeah, alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a few minutes, whatever, get the thing rebooted, get the CPU to stop being angry because of the video capture screwing that up, and just see what I can do. It's going to take a few minutes though. Alright, so we got at least a couple confirmations that it'll be there. I'm going to try to do like a part 2 to this, I guess. Alright, so I'm going to keep the uptime going, which is running off that. Okay, I'm just... Alright, anyway, give me a few. I'm going to stop the stream, and then we're going to see if we can get this thing started back up. We'll be back in a minute. A few minutes. Don't go nowhere.